Hello, welcome to Screen Weens, episode 122!
Yes.
With the Santa Claus Trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm your co-host, London.
I'm your other co-host, Thomas.
And you're listening to Screen Weens, the greatest podcast to ever exist.
Yeah, I mean, some would say.
Some would say the only podcast.
Yeah, in fact, I think most would say that.
Yeah.
And
there's no other podcast.
Yeah. And we've got the only podcast listener, Philip.
Well, my brother's been listening.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Spencer?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks for listening.
Spencer's been listening to it with Ted. Hi, Ted.
Oh, hello. Hello.
You know, we got Pierre listening to the first 20 minutes still. What's up, Pierre? We got people.
Yeah.
And there's probably people we've never spoken to that tune in every once in a while.
Yeah, silent lurkers, the ones who will watch our video and be like, and then never say anything.
The Blue Bunny video.
The Blue Bunny.
Is that what it's called? Brown Bunny. The Brown Bunny. And
it won't get any more dislikes.
No, it hit 20K views, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ton of dislikes. People don't like that podcast.
Yeah.
But, you know what? That's funny.
I wonder, I don't know, my YouTube still has dislikes, but I have premium. But when I switch over to, like, one of my, like, if I have, like, an alt account or something, but it's still attached to the same, like, thing. Mm. I don't know why, but, like, my main YouTube account, I'm still able to see, like, dislike ratios on stuff.
Weird.
I hope they never fix it, though, because I like to know if, like, oh, this video is a scam. Like, I put on, like, I don't know, full movie, and then I, like, you know, begrudgingly wait 30 seconds before I figure out it's a scam, as opposed to just seeing all the thumbs down and being like, wait a minute. Stuff like that.
Yeah. YouTube makes a lot of really bad choices.
Yeah.
And they've never, like, stopped. They just keep making it.
To be fair, to give, like, a certain level of benefit of the doubt, I get it. Like, they have so much content uploaded in, like, seconds per day. Mm-hmm. So I get that it would be, like, a hard system to manage, but they still make decisions where it's, like, you know, at least with, like, you'd think with some of their, like, more like... fuck. I totally blanked on that word I was going to say. Notoriability, but like in a... Would it be like notoriable? I don't know.
Notorious?
No,
it's bad.
Like, yeah. Basically like...
Notable.
Yeah, YouTubers who have like left a specific mark, like fucking... A YouTuber I watched, Totally Not Mark. He just had... Like
the Toei thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea about this guy, but I heard about this Toei
thing. I'd watched his he did like a blind, like, oh, I'm going to go through One Piece arc by arc. And he does like really good breakdowns. And I really like his videos, even as someone who's like very familiar with One Piece. It's like, oh, it's kind of interesting to get like a kind of different perspective. Mm-hmm. And he knows a lot about like storytelling and stuff. So it's like really interesting to watch his breakdowns.
Yeah.
But Toei was like, nope. And just like... pretty much obliterated his fucking entire video catalog. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, YouTube, you should be able to recognize, like, that they're following not only what's legal, but, like, your guidelines, but no, they don't step in. They're like, whatever. So it's just like, okay, whatever. But, I don't know. I do not know. YouTube is stinky, but it's less stinky than Twitch, so it's like, alright, cool.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, so it is a couple weeks before Christmas, a week before Spider-Man.
Yes.
You been watching anything, doing anything? Playing Minecraft?
I have not played more Minecraft. I was thinking
don't have
about
to
it.
do.
I was thinking about it longingly last night. I was like, I could hop into this Minecraft server.
I could go for a sesh right about now.
But I've been watching a lot of stuff. Let's see. I finished Supergirl Season 1 and got like a decent chunk into Season 2.
Are you addicted to watching bad now?
Is
it good now?
No, it's not good now. But I got to a point where it's her second Flash crossover, but like the Flash shows up and he's basically like, I need you to like come with me. I'm cashing in that favor that you owe me. And it turns out that it's like a big like event from the Arrowverse, like their first, I think, big like major crossover between multiple series. And I'm just like, I'm heavily debating. I'm like, do I go back and watch the 4 seasons of Arrow, the 2-3 seasons of Flash?
I've heard Arrow's pretty good.
I've heard the first 2 seasons of Arrow are pretty good. Every single one of their shows, for the most part, it seems like it has like a season that's like, that was pretty alright to pretty good, and then it just like tanks. To my understanding, Supergirl season 4 is pretty decent, and then just like from there, it's really bad. I know like the Flash season 7 is like really notorious because it's just got like a bunch of filler episodes that don't contribute to the plot at all.
Classic.
But, yeah. So it's like, okay, I don't know, I might not. I'm not at this moment, so I took a hiatus on Supergirl for the moment. And I hopped over and started watching Superman the Animated Series.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like most of the way through the first season of that. It's pretty good. I think it's mainly held. I think if the episodes were like a smidge longer, like maybe 4 or 5 minutes longer, it would really benefit the series a lot more, because there's a lot of the time where I'm like, I can tell, like, most of the episode's good, but there will be, like, one part that's kind of contrived, but you can tell that they're just kind of, like, we need to get the story to this point so we can kind of have a natural progression. So it's like, all right, so they kind of have to cut corners here and there. But I'm enjoying it. I think the first 3 episodes are really good, and there's been a couple other episodes where I'm like, wow, that was a really good episode. But then there's some that are just like, yeah, that was all right, or that one's a little kiddie, but whatever. But let's see. After that, I read... Oh. Jeez. I read Supergirl Being Super, which is that, like, kind of grounded indie...
Yeah. Didn't you get it from the shop, like, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
I've heard it's really good. Did you like it?
I liked it for the most part. I think it was probably...
Except the women in it. Okay, Tom.
No. I think it was probably a smidge... I probably built it up a little more because I had heard it was really good, and I sat on it for 6 months going, oh, this is going to be really good. And then I read it and I was like, this is pretty good. I think that the third act felt like a little like sloppy, and I think that the second act of it could have breathed a little more, but I enjoyed it for the most part. I also read pretty famous Superman story called Peace on Earth, which that's one that has art from Alex Ross, and it's got a trade paperback that's like really big, and it's like it's like 30 pages, but the art's like fucking top notch because it's Alex Ross, and he goes like insane with the detail he'll fucking draw. But it's a Christmas Superman story where basically he tries to like, he's like, I'm gonna see what I can do to combat world hunger as like a trial run. So he basically like gets all like the surplus like crops and food gathered in one place and tries to like take it all over the world to places that need it in like one day, and the problems that kind of arise from that and the conclusion that he comes to. I really like the concept of it and the art, but it's not very long, and it's very like floaty. Like the perspective of it is very much like reflecting, like as if like it had already been done, and like Superman's just reflecting on it. So it's like, I went to this place, and like I don't know. I feel like if there was like an actual like 6-issue miniseries that dived deeper into it, it would be a lot cool, because it lightly touches on themes of like fucking not just like the world hunger stuff, but also like interventionalism to a certain extent. And I found that super interesting, but I didn't really like flesh it out a whole lot. So it's like, It also has one part that I don't know if I like the insinuation of it, because there's basically one part where he goes to like feed people and they're like so hungry that they're not really like thinking, they're more of a mob just trying to get food, and he's like, I don't like that I'm doing this to them. I'm like, that's not you doing that to them. Like, they're doing this because they're hungry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the insinuation was there. But, yeah, so that story was interesting, to say the very least.
Okay.
But, yeah. Then I watched the Santa Claus movies, and then last night I watched the Venoms.
What'd you think?
They were like kind of fun, but like I am not supportive of like them being like, yeah, let's bring this guy over to the like fucking spoiler alert MCU.
No, it's gonna be good.
Because it's like it's so far removed from like, if it was its own little thing, I was more open to like, all right, this is just like a random fucking like Deadpool-esque comedy where Eddie Brock is a bumbling idiot and he's just got...
I feel like Eddie Brock is a bumbling idiot, though.
I see, I don't. That's not my interpretation of the character.
At least I prefer it when he's a bumbling idiot.
Yeah. Because, like, most versions of the story, like, yeah, he's kind of arrogant, but, like, Peter Parker, like, screws him over. And it's like, you genuinely feel bad for the guy. Whereas, like, in, obviously, Venom, he's just like, well, I'm gonna fuck myself as hard as I can. Yeah. And then, like, there's no arc to it. Like, there's...
I have a lot of problems with the first movie. Because I watched it right before Venom 2
I've got a lot of problems with both.
That's fair. But in general, I like the second one quite a bit. I do not like the first one, because the second one, I think, at least nails the comedy of what it's going for. I don't think the first one, like... I feel like the first one has a really big problem with what kind of tone it wants to take.
Yeah.
And the second one at least feels more sure of itself and, yeah, we're gonna make this fucking stupid.
See, I think I might prefer the first one for that reason. Because it's like... It is trying to take itself seriously, so when they make a baffling decision, I'm just like, oh, what the fuck was that? Whereas the second
when he's
one...
eating the lobster.
Yeah. But the second one, it's just like... I feel like the comedy bits of it, like... I was real back and forth. Some of it I was like, alright, that's fine. But some of it I was like...
That's fair.
And
like, it's not one of those that's gonna leave a lasting impression on me, but I was pleasantly surprised with the second one, at least probably because I was so negative on the first.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know. They didn't even play with, like, the fact that, like, symbiotes, like, feed off negative emotion at all. Like, and they had the perfect setup for it, because he fucks his life over, and I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
He's funny. He calls a guy a turd in the wind. I remember when that was like the big major red flag. Like, I was skeptical because I saw the trailer. I'm like, this seems kind of weird, but I'll give it a chance. But then I saw that, like, rolling like a turd in the wind in one of the trailers. And I was like, this is going to be a fucking garbage fire. Like,
I saw the second one in theaters. Mm-hmm. And they go to, you see Venom's toes in the sand in, like, the final scene. Yeah. And I said in the theater, a little bit too loudly, yes, his juicy toes. And then I'm like, oh, there are other people in this theater.
I'm sure they probably got a kick out of it. Oh, fuck. But, yeah, so I watched those. And, yeah. And they dropped the fucking trailer for Superman and Lois Season 2, and I watched that, and it looks good.
Have you been watching JoJo's Part 6?
No, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've really, like, I don't know what it is. I haven't been, like, super motivated to, like, get into, like, anime and manga a lot recently. Like, I still haven't read the final chapter of Berserk. Like, Just something like within me is just like putting that stuff off. I don't know why, but
that's fair. I started watching JoJo's again, like from the beginning, because the last time I tried to watch, I got like 5 episodes in.
Yeah, part 1's...
Now I'm 5 episodes in again. But I'm enjoying it a little bit more this time. Probably just because I'm watching it dubbed because I think it's very funny. Because it's Johnny Young Bosch just doing his regular voice, but he'll try to do a British accent like half the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's very funny.
That also reminds me, Tom Hardy's accent was fucking awful in the Venom movie.
Yeah.
There's parts
but I think it adds to it. There are times that I'm like, this is good.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think that if he were to, like, sit down and, like, truly, like, try, he could probably do a good accent. But, like, I don't know.
No, I mean, when I say this is good,
Johnny,
I mean because it's bad.
I see. Yeah, there was parts where it was, like, coming through, like, full Australian. And I was like, oh. Okay. But, yeah, Johnny Young Bosch, he does that British accent. I like the dub for part 1. I like Johnny Young Bosch as Jonathan. I like Patrick Seitz as a fucking excellent Dio.
Yeah. Is Dio just the main villain for, like, all the parts? Or?
He's the main villain.
Is he in all the parts?
He's the main villain for parts 1 and 3.
No.
He's very influential in pretty much all of JoJo's, though. And part 7 is like a rebooted universe. He serves as an antagonist in part 7, but he's not like the main antagonist.
And is Seitz the dub voice for all the parts, or?
He's the dub voice for parts 1 and 3. I don't know if they're going to cast him for any of like the flashback scenes that they have in part 6 or not. But yeah, because I know that they're doing like simuldub on Netflix, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I imagine they'll probably cast him.
Because I think he's fantastic.
Yeah. I could probably look and see if Matthew Mercer has been cast as Jotaro again, then the likelihood of Patrick Seitz returning as Dio is pretty high.
Okay. But I also think it's funny because, like, where I know those two from the most is Bleach, where it's Ichigo and his dad. So I'm just like, Ichigo's fighting his dad!
I know Patrick Seitz because he voices Frankie on One Piece.
That's fair.
So I'm always just like, Frankie, whoa!
That's Frankie! Yeah. So I've been watching that a little bit. I watched the Diary of a Wimpy Kid new like CG movie.
Yeah, I saw
less than an hour.
Rated it on Letterboxd and didn't have nice things to say about it. Which,
it's real bad.
That's fair. I liked that book series when I was a kid, but looking back on it, that probably... I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even really like it as a kid.
They're super cynical.
And they're super mean. Yeah, it's just
pretty mean-spirited.
And I remember the movie, like the live-action movies, being pretty bad too. But like at the very least, I think they had a bit of personality to them that made them like their own thing. Yeah, they had like pretty good casting and pretty like fun.
Pretty memey.
Yeah. Which is it's something at the very least. This one was just like I was just watching it. I'm like.
Have you seen that fucking meme where it's like the scene where his dad's like talking to Roderick and he's like, "Is this you?" But it's like they like plaster Andrew Garfield's face over him and it's like all the Spider-Man set photos. He's like, "No, that wasn't me." It's like, "Are you sure? How about this one?" It just goes through all the photos of him on the set of the new movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, I showed Thomas, but I got a new tattoo. It's of Gizmo. Mm-hmm. There he is. I don't know how cameras work. There he is. He's gorgeous.
I forever on my PC have this picture that I screenshotted from... Do you remember that, like... I don't know if you ever got around to watching it, but it was, like, limited time digital streaming during COVID. It was, like, a behind-the-scenes documentary for the special effects of the first one.
No, I didn't get to see it.
He should, like... I don't know if it's been, like, released anywhere else since. They definitely should. But, in that, like, he was like, I've still got some of the Gizmo, like, puppets from back in the day, but they've, like, degraded. So he like, takes a picture of one of them, and it just, like, looks like he's got a rotting Gizmo corpse, and I thought it was, like, the funniest shit ever, so I screenshotted it. Here, I'll send a picture, and we'll plaster it up here, and here is Gizmo's corpse. Yeah, it's just super funny. I was just like, what the fuck? Why are you showing us this? You're gonna give so many people nightmares. But yeah, fucking, I thought that was really funny. Anyway,
brilliant. And I don't think I watched anything else this week, but let me double check. Yep, not really. That's been it.
Mm. Oh, man. I can't believe we watched 3 Tim Allen movies this week.
Yeah. And only 2 of them had David Krumholtz in it.
Who?
That's the guy who plays Bernard. Also, here's this. Before we start, here you go.
What is this?
That's your Christmas present.
Do you want me to open it now or wait?
You can open it now.
Okay. I think yours is still coming in the mail.
Hinata wrap that. Because
Okay.
I'm just dreadful at wrapping things.
Yeah, I'm the same. Okay, let's see.
Alright.
I've already fucked the chance at reusing this pic.
Oh, that's okay. I know we talked about these books.
Oh.
But I thought you would enjoy that.
This is like the one that he wrote that's like based on the Sons of El Topo.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Let me see.
El Topo is still one of the few movies that you've given a 10 on the podcast.
I think I went back and retroactively gave it a 9 on Letterboxd, but
it's 10. No.
I always think about that story you tell me, and I'm always like, thanks, man.
Of course.
Coming in for
Thomas is giving me a hug. And it was very sensual, and we both had our clothes off.
Yes.
But yes, now that Christmas has been delivered to Thomas, and there's lots of scratching noises, and Thomas just put the wrapping paper right up against the mic. Now we're going to talk about the Santa Claus number 1.
No questions?
Let me see. Oh, actually, and I have to go in a couple minutes to go get Joe, so I just wait.
This might be a good...
let me double check if we have any questions. No questions.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to take a break. I'm going to go get Joe. And we'll be back soon to talk about the Santa Claus trilogy. Yo, Thomas is just like the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Screen Weens episode 122. Joe and Pierre are now here, and we're about to talk about the Santa Claus.
We've been here the entire time.
Was I on the last episode?
I think so.
Yes.
Because you guys were talking about Christmas Carol last episode, right?
Okay, I was. I'm a regular now.
Pure, you were always a regular.
I mean, you're on here you're on here like 70%.
You're on here way more than I'm on.
I feel like I'm here on 70%. There's like
He's here
90 episodes or something.
You're here way more than I'm here.
You say 20 episodes?
20%.
Oh.
Let me check. You've been on every episode.
Just in the background.
You're the producer.
We've probably mentioned your name every episode.
Well, yeah, because you have Pierre's question corner.
That's true.
Well, for the most part.
Sleepwalker! I was just talking
I was
about
looking at Black Dynamite because at first I thought that was a Megatron because of like the big gun. I thought that was Megatron's big arm cannon.
Oh, it's Black Dynamite.
I like that.
Megatron's like the first like black comic book character.
What?
I like London Swan. It's like, oh, it begins.
Well, anyway, let's talk about Pierre's favorite guy in the world, Timothy Allen.
You love Tim Allen.
The Santa Claus, 1994.
It's wild that that movie came out in 94 to me.
Yeah, out there. Just put it, it's fine. Just put it down. You're good. Yeah, 94, Tim Allen stars as the Santa Claus.
Even though I understand that it was made in 94, I watched this movie so many times as a kid. Like, that movie was on constantly in our house. And I don't remember, like, particularly liking it as a kid. But it was just always on in our house. So, for me, I'm always like...
Because you loved it.
As a kid, I was just like, I've seen this movie like 100 times. I don't want to watch it anymore. Like I was never like repeat the movie. Just
repeat the movie.
Repeat the movie.
Yeah. We had a box of Christmas DVDs that we would bring out in December every year.
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept of that. I'm like, why wouldn't we just have these with our regular DVDs? They're like, no, we can only watch them around Christmas. And then we would watch the same fucking 10 movies every Christmas. And I'm like, I only like 2 of these movies.
Did you watch like the whole box, or was it like we actually only liked?
No, we watched like the whole box.
30 movies.
We watched like Santa Claus 1 through 3. Or no, I think we only had 2 and 3.
I mean, honestly, I feel like that's the way to go.
I don't like 3 at all. Spoiler alert.
I haven't seen 3.
I wish it was just 2.
Yeah, no, because like the movies that I really liked as a kid were like basically all the Rankin Bass like claymation movies were all I really liked those as a kid.
Oh,
and
flashbacks.
Like, yeah. I don't know how much I would care about them now, but I remember as a kid really liking them.
The Santa Claus one's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one where he's got like red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like
Winter Warlocks in that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember liking pretty much most of them, and then like random ass Christmas animations. Like I really like the Frosty the Snowman ones.
That was also a Rankin and Bass.
Oh, that was also
Rankin. It wasn't quite.
Okay.
Yeah, we covered it last year on the Rankin and Bass. 2 years ago on the Rankin and Bass episode.
I was depressed then.
Still are now.
Well,
Good point.
You go back and listen to it, and it'll lift your spirits.
Oh boy!
That Christmas season was rough.
Yeah.
What did we watch last year for Christmas? We watched Black Christmas.
Yeah, we watched Black Christmas. I know that year we did the Rankin and Bass. We did all those Rankin and Bass in one episode, along with Mickey's Once and Twice Upon a Christmas.
That was so rough.
That was
even though they were all short.
Those are great though.
No.
Once or Twice Upon it was awful. Because I watched that with you.
Yeah.
The second one has a time loop though.
The second one's the 3D one.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but that's like the time loop with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the best one.
We should watch The Little Drummer Boy 2 this year.
Oh my god.
Sequel.
Yeah, part 2, I think it's called.
Of course
Yeah.
it did. But I'm glad that you guys covered it last week. But Muppets Christmas Carol, that will always be my go-to Christmas.
We didn't even have that one. We didn't have any of the Muppets ones. We had like the Rankin and Bass ones. We had the Santa Claus movies. We had Elf, which I love. I watched Elf a lot.
Yep.
I think we had like a Teletubbies Christmas special. I don't remember the other Christmas movies we watched.
I remember the other like big like Christmas thing that we had was the Charlie Brown Christmas special. I always watched that one a lot for some reason. Like, Charlie Brown's cool. But,
I like to imagine that Pierre sees everyone else in his life as that one kid who's just like covered in dirt and has the dirt cloud around him.
Everyone's pig pen to Pierre.
Because Pierre's just like, they don't shower daily?
Shower daily.
Yeah, I shower daily.
What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Actually, that's not true. I shower 5 days out of the week.
Just last night, I was called out for showering daily again, and it's just been like haunting me all day.
You're the one that brought that part up.
I probably
didn't bring that part.
Realistically, I like my first day off. Sometimes I'll skip. I'll be like, whatever. I'm just in bed. I don't care if I'm.
Yeah, on my days off, I'm generally less inclined unless I'm going like running around doing a bunch of errands. Like, I'm going to go out in public. I don't want to smell garbage. Yeah, but I'm not like existing anywhere that matters.
Every moment of existence, you're accumulating filth. I just stare right into the camera when saying that.
Pierre, well, how do you feel? What if I, instead of bathing, I covered myself in like used napkins, like that episode of Invader Zim, where the Invader Zim's like, he's freaking out about all the germs around him, and he's like, oh, this doesn't have any germs on it. It's just like used napkins from the fast food establishment.
I mean, if he can tell that there's no germs on it, then it's fine.
Sure, there's always germs on it.
Invaders.
Well, I'm assuming Zim, with his advanced Urkin technology, could scan to see how many microbiological life forms.
I watched Invader Zim. Is Zim a germaphobe?
Well, in that episode, Gur rents a movie that is about aliens coming to Earth and then dying because they're allergic to, like, the common cold. Mm-hmm. And Zim's like, Oh, fuck no!
Like the day the Earth stood
You can
still.
just swap out a few words and you can describe every episode of Vader Zim that way.
Yeah, Gur's doing something and Zim's like, holy shit!
Oops, I want to not the day the Earth stood still. War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
My bad. Got him.
Day the Earth Stood Still is the one with Keanu Reeves and the kid who plays World of Warcraft.
Is that the really big guy?
It's the one with like the alien that's like,
something.
you guys are not peaceful, so I'm coming in, and if anyone fucks around, I'm killing you.
I thought about that recently because like I just randomly just read like the latest One Punch Man issue, and they're just like a big guy on the moon. It looks crazy.
Does he still just kill everyone in one punch?
No. So I went like through like the past like 5 issues that have come out recently.
He's dead.
No, he's just not in it. It's just like all the other characters, like his cyborg sidekick man is there.
Why is he a sidekick?
The short telepath lady
What's he
is there.
doing?
It's like everyone's there fighting a bunch of people, and then it's like there's like, if only Saitama was here, and then they cut away just playing Xbox. For like half a panel, and then they go back to it's like, oh, we're shooting jet fighters at Godzilla, and then a big guy's on the moon.
It seems about right.
Yeah. It's really weird now.
I need to go back and like
I have no idea what's going on in it.
the rest because
I
I read
read
like
No Guns Like because it's about a guy with a gun for a head.
Kirk No Guns Like is good.
If I want that, I'll just reread Chainsaw Man.
No. Gun for a head cooler than chainsaw for a head.
No, there's a guy with a gun for a head in Chainsaw.
You're right. I forgot.
That. By the way, Chainsaw Man is just a ripoff of that one guy from Soul Eater who has chainsaws for arms. I remember him.
I mean, okay.
He had
Chainsaw Man is just a ripoff of the Bible. Do you not remember the description of Judas?
Yeah, chainsaws for
and a gun for a
We're supposed to be talking about the
all
Santa
their
Claus.
apostles are just like, hey, you sure
we're
about
talking
this
about
guy?
Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Christ, let's talk
Why
about
wasn't
Tim
he on
Allen.
the council of
Legendary figures. Yeah. Where the fuck was Jesus? Jesus would have stopped Jack
If you
Frost.
put on Jesus' robes, you become Jesus.
Do you think that's how the other people, the other legendary figures work?
They all
Can
wear
we
that.
please make like a Pureflix parody that's got that same plot? Holy shit.
You would
Wait,
become
is
the
Jesus
son of
also
Christ.
sneaking the people's
He's on.
houses through the-
Well, no, he's just on people's roofs
It's-
occasionally, just like to hang out.
Instead of a sleigh, he's always carrying around his cross.
Yeah, that's metal.
He's
though.
just like downtown. He's like, oh, I've got the intuition. Dan is showering right now. I better go see what's up. And he goes there, and then like Dan scares him off the roof.
At the end of the movie, he's just crucified hanging in the town center.
By the way,
I shouldn't have put
Tim
on the
Allen
robes.
is the guy who does it and gains the Jesus powers. Right?
Yeah, Tim Allen still plays.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course. Who else are we gonna get to play a carpenter?
true.
And his
By the
name
way,
should be Jonathan Cross, so it's still JC.
I didn't realize this. I looked it up a minute ago, but like Home Improvement came out before the Santa Claus movies.
Yeah.
He got cast most likely because of Home
I assumed it was the
Improvement.
other way around, where they were like, "Let's get Tim Allen for our nightly family sitcom."
Tim Allen was just a narc before he did Home Improvement.
I watched a lot of Home Improvement, and I do not know why I did.
It's because it was good.
It's one of those.
I think it was one of those, like, I've seen the Santa Claus so much, I know Tim Allen. Tim Allen's in the show.
Tim Allen, like, for a pretty large period of time, was like kind of a.
He was kind of like the 90s favorite.
Cultural icon.
Yeah, he's like a 90s cultural icon.
He was like, you know, like a lot of sitcom stars, like kind of like
Was he
emblematic of like being a working man figure and playing the.
Yeah, I think in general Tim Allen was so popular because he's just so
He's just
bland.
a guy.
Yeah.
Like he's just an everyman.
Yeah.
That's why Home Improvement worked, because you could see him as your dad.
See, the best part was the neighbor who never showed his face.
Mm-hmm.
I like to imagine he was just like demon mouth.
Oh,
I like to imagine it was just Tim Allen.
I always confuse that neighbor with the neighbor from Boy Meets World, by the way, who's also like their teacher or something.
Yeah.
He's just like the parasite from Parasite that's got like.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think they just call him Mouth. Don't
Yeah,
they?
just or Coochie. One of the two.
Coochie.
Yeah.
My
Well, it's-
favorite type of lips. Oh! Damn!
Just end the episode there.
So Santa
Claus.
Claus commits murder and decides to bring joy to the world.
So if anyone doesn't know the premise of the Santa Claus, CLAUSE,
You're welcome.
Tim Allen. He's a dickhead. He's like the COO of like a toy company.
Not bad.
He has a son. His ex-wife doesn't like him very much. His son doesn't like him very well.
He likes him though.
It's not true. His son comes over for Christmas. Somebody's on the roof. They run outside. It's fucking Santa. He's like, "Hey, bozo!" And then Santa's like, "Whoa, whoa!" And then he falls off the roof and dies. Immediately dies, even though he fell into like 2 feet of snow. He escaped. He faked his death. It's gotta be true.
He saw the out and he took it.
I have a very big theory about this series that
The third one's called the Escape Clause, right?
yeah, but
It should have been about the original Santa Claus escaping, coming back.
but then Tim Allen's like, "Oh, I should put on this robe," and he does, and then becomes Santa, and he has to be Santa for that night, and then he goes back home, and they're like, "Oh, you have until Thanksgiving, then you gotta come back and be Santa again forever." Bernard says this to him. He's like, "Fuck you, Santa! You're the new Santa. Fuck you!"
And all the while, like, Tim Allen's life is crumbling because he's Santa Claus.
Because he's like gaining weight and growing beard, and everybody's like, "Why you look so old?" And his son's like, "My dad's Santa Claus."
And everyone's like, "Oh, this isn't good.
This is worrying. And then like a bunch of children are coming up to Tim Allen like, "Hello, Tim Allen. This is what I would like for Christmas." And everyone's just like, "This is worrying." And then eventually Tim Allen's like, "I got an idea. I just lost custody of my kid, so what if I kidnap him for a month until Christmas?" So he takes him on Thanksgiving until Christmas Eve.
Wait,
Yeah.
I thought
that was on Thanksgiving.
I thought that was all like Christmas.
No, this
that was
movie's just
Thanksgiving.
really bad at telling time. But
Yeah.
remember, he has to be back on Thanksgiving. They're eating Thanksgiving dinner. And then he comes back. He's like, "Hey, Mom." And then he comes back on Christmas.
No, I feel you on that confusion because, like, in my house growing up, we had turkey for Thanksgiving and turkey for Christmas. So I'm like, which turkey was it?
He's saying movies need to have like a counter in the corner that tells you the date and the weather.
That or I don't know. It seems like the whole movie, I guess, because it jumps around different time periods. There's a lot of Christmas going on.
But, like, the middle third of it is, like, not Christmas.
I know, but it still feels Christmas.
Yeah, because it's about how the spirit of Christmas infests us all, no matter what time of the year it is.
The more I think
Infests
about it,
us
the
like a
more like
plague.
Santa Claus in this world seems like some weird kind of Lovecraftian plague that takes over your like body and mind. Over
And only
the course
lets
of
the
a year.
Puritans through.
Well, like it essentially overwrites your personality with this new one.
Isn't it weird that there's like this realm of magical elves that look like children, and they just use like the U.S. Postal Service to send all the mail to Santa
I always thought-
instead of just delivering it to him?
Is it, like, I thought it was, like, their own, like, specified service, not, like, the USPS, because it wasn't...
But it was just a regular guy. All the elves are children.
Well,
I thought it was just, like, a guy that they had, like, a contract with.
like the Postal Service was like invented.
For what? But this would just be for this one thing. They don't send packages to anyone
Yeah.
else.
They had mail since like the beginning of mail, and the U.S. Postal Service was invented in the U.S. or something. Ben Franklin invented the mail or something. I don't know. We all went to history, but anyway,
You guys went to history.
What a great quote. I need to clip that one.
Chat, clip that.
But it's like, of course, that they would use like FedEx, UPS. One of those is owned by the government.
I just like the idea that the elves have been around for thousands of years, but they didn't do anything during the World Wars.
Well, why would... I don't get why you're on this. Why would that?
The elves?
Yeah.
The small little fragile people?
The magical people that could stop the war.
No,
What do you
that's
mean?
like saying... I don't get why... Like, pelicans have been around for thousands of years and they did nothing about the Third
It's like,
Reich.
have you seen that picture that was the post of like the turtle that's like 190 and they're like, and he did nothing to stop the Civil War?
I mean,
He was around for slavery.
to be fair, we saw how fucking easily persuaded the elves are by Coco.
you're-
They probably would have been like, hey, we'll give you cocoa if you commit mass genocide. And then they would use
also
their
the
magic
elves,
for evil.
regardless of their age, are incredibly stupid. They're still children.
Well, yeah, that brings
except for Bernard.
That's what I think about a lot of the time with like long-lived like people and like races and fantasy and sci-fi. I was like, so do they like mentally develop at like a human rate, or is it like elongated over hundreds of years?
Well, Santa Claus 3, I know you didn't watch that one, but the Mrs. Claus now runs a school and teaches the elves, and I'm like, these people are like 700 years old. What are you teaching them? And she's teaching them like basic math or some shit.
That's right. Maybe they just don't have math in the North Pole.
I mean, they make toys. You think they need a little bit?
Yeah, they would. I would think, unless they just. But no, they always use tools. They don't. The only one that has magic is like the Santa Claus, who's like
big child sweatshop over there.
They just wing it. They just wing it with the toys.
I assume they're like though like incredibly durable or something, or like have like some kind of frost resistance. Like they're definitely not normal.
Yeah, they're short.
Yeah, they got pointy ears, and they stay children forever, and can live hundreds of years.
Do that.
And then
that sounds awful. What happened to Bernard in the third movie?
I've got a theory.
He died.
That's enough to trade off your look.
I think that elves, they are children for like hundreds of years, and then they start to rapidly age in like the last 10 years of their life, and then they just die. That's why Bernard is older in the Santa Claus 2 and not
That's
present.
why Curtis is like aggressively older in the Santa Claus 3.
Yes.
He's like, hey, Santa.
There's like species of sea anemone that follow that life cycle.
Because Curtis is 900 in Santa Claus 2.
Yeah.
So he's 906 in the Santa Claus.
He saw the
904 in the Santa Claus.
But he's
3.
like 200 years older.
He saw the Crusades and did nothing about it.
I think it's just one of those things that's just like, you obviously can't look at it because it breaks, because wasn't Judy like 1100 or something like that,
Although he had chainsaws
or 100, 110, something like
Judas,
that.
Judy. I think Tim Allen should play Chainsaw.
Yeah, what happened to Judy? Did she die?
Oh no.
Was she the Coco lady?
She was the Coco lady in the first one.
She was recast in the second one, and then you see her from the back in the third one during the delivery scene. She's running with them.
Oh.
But she was probably recast again.
Probably. Poor Judy.
Devastating.
Tragedy.
Yeah, this movie's really weird. Yeah. Like, it has a weird tone to it. I don't think this movie's, like, terrible. No. It just has, like, a weird tone, and Tim Allen's, like, Tim Allen-ness is a little much sometimes.
Yeah, he's a pretty big asshole throughout the film.
Yeah.
And then, like...
and then he just, like, magically gets better in the last, like, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then the next two films go backtrack, and I'm like, well, he's gonna be an asshole again. But
I like that, though. He's fighting through, like...
He's fighting through the magic to be who he actually is.
But, yeah, it's pretty... This is a pretty mid movie. It's like... I don't know.
It's kind of like...
I just don't care about this movie.
Yeah.
I have no real opinions of it. I think there are some, like, obviously bad things, but also, like, I don't care about the bad things.
Neil's pretty cool.
You think Neil's hot?
I like his sweaters. His sweaters are cool.
Is a fucking...
Yeah, he looks old now. Have you seen him lately?
I haven't seen him.
He looks fucking ancient. He is like 64, but Jesus Christ, he looks ancient.
Damn. He's in Gremlins.
He plays this guy.
He plays the...
Just kidding. Howie Mandel plays this guy.
Yeah, he plays the one asshole who really doesn't like...
Howie Mandel.
I should have gotten a tattoo of Howie Mandel.
Did we cover Gremlins on a past episode?
Not yet.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I want to say I've heard you guys talk.
I remember the episode we did with the Big Lebowski. We talked briefly about Gremlins because I think we had just shown Joe, but I don't think we've done an official episode on it.
I think that sounds about right because Lion showed me
Gremlins.
Because I remember hyping up Gremlins 2 for you.
Yeah. No, but the Santa Claus is like it's why it became a fixture of my household I will never know, and like several other people's households I'm fairly sure it became a fixture movie because it's just like it's so whatever. It's I can't bring myself to really feel greatly one way or another. It's just like yeah, It's Tim Allen. There's Bernard, but like,
Bernard!
It's just Tim Allen Santa Claus. He commit murder.
Nina Teo was watching this because she remembered really, really liking Bernard growing up. And I liked Bernard growing up as well. Mm-hmm. But then we watched the first one and we're like, Bernard's barely in this movie. And that's correct. He's more of a character in the second movie. More, but even then
it's not much.
It's like, Bernard's not actually in this movie.
It's mainly Curtis in the second movie.
That piece of shit.
It's Curtis and Bernard.
I think it's just like our funny meme of like Bernard.
Was the kid who jumping ahead here? Was the kid who played Curtis in anything else?
Cat in the Hat.
Thank you.
He reminds me of like Dr. Zemo or whatever, who turns himself into a computer.
He's in some other stuff. He was like a pretty
Disney regular. Probably.
I think his little sister was. I think.
But, yeah, this movie's, it's whatever. Like, the beginning, Tim Allen's, like, trying to show his kid a good time, and his kid's like, Mom, I don't want to stay here. I hate this guy. And he's just like, Then he's like, I'm going to take this kid to Denny's and everything will be fine. It'll be the best.
To Denny's! God, he actually does take his kid to Denny's. I remember, like, as a kid being like, why don't we go to Denny's for Christmas dinner? And now I'm like, that's incredibly sad.
No, I think that's cool.
Wait, Denny's or Tim Allen for Christmas sounds nice.
I think going with Tim Allen to Denny's is cool.
And then, like, it's like you see, like,
I
don't want to go anywhere.
Having a Christmas party at Denny's, and there's like two other dads with their estranged sons just hanging out at Denny's, and it's like they're used to it. It's great.
Yeah, was the mom and like Judge Reinhold like going away for like a cruise or something? Like, I find it very odd that they stuck the kid with him on Christmas.
No, because she was picking him up the next day. I think it was just like, you need to spend time with... I think the mom's just trying to be like, you need to spend time with your dad. Yeah. My parents did that when they were going through divorce. I'm like, I don't want to.
I definitely get that, but on Christmas Eve...
Well, it was like a Christmas Eve with the dad, Christmas Day with the mom kind of thing.
I guess.
There's a slight difference. By the way, the guy's name is Arnim Zola. I always confuse a lot of the Captain America villains, because they all have like Z's and stuff going on.
Baron Zemo, Arnim Zola...
Red Skull.
Zapton's America.
Either way, Arnim Zola reminds me of Curtis. Bernard's assistant Curtis.
Can you imagine if like the MCU like
put the Santa Claus in it?
I was gonna say put the Santa Claus in it, and it's just like this big reveal where like a wormhole opens up and just Bernard walks out.
So it actually... Actually, Doc Ock is facing off against Tim Allen, the Santa Claus, not Spider-Man.
Tim Allen would be a great Doc Ock.
Tim Allen would be a great Spider-Man. Just kidding, I don't actually want to see Tim Allen in anything ever again. Fun fact.
Home Improvement 2.
Except Home Improvement 2.
They should reboot the Santa Claus movies with Chris Evans.
Yo.
I saw a TikTok. I always see TikToks where it's like recasting this old movie with newer act like that, and it was Paul Rudd as Scott Calvin, and I'm like,
that's
fine.
I'd be open to. I think I'm fine.
I feel like I'd prefer Paul Rudd as Neil though, with like the sweaters and stuff.
That is true. He would be a good Neil casting.
I think it's the other way around. Chris Evans would be a great Neil. Paul Rudd would be good.
No, Chris Evans should play Bernard. Chris Evans should play the Easter Bunny in Santa Claus 2.
They're gonna do a big stoner remake of the Santa Claus with Seth Rogen playing. And he's just like, I don't want to be Santa Claus, I just want to get stoned.
I like your Donkey Kong impression. Alright.
I would like to say that over the course of this conversation, I've come to really appreciate the Santa Claus movie because you guys seem to
hate it,
throwing a lot of shade at it.
I don't hate the movie.
I never said I hated it.
Not
you
great.
guys are talking about how it's mid.
Maybe
that was my words.
Mid is super cool.
Mid is not bad. It's just not great.
It's not bod, but I mean, it's definitely not top.
Well, yeah, it's not a top.
This movie does not top.
This movie is on top with urine. So
this movie does not serve cunt.
You guys are all wearing like the same colors, just in like different positions.
You're welcome.
Are we?
Yeah. You're all Christmas blue colors.
Well, I do another blue shirt underneath too. So
all right, what is Pierre? I think you'd give this movie a 7.
I was thinking Santa but I kind of want to move it to an 8.
Okay, an 8.
Probably
a 7. Okay.
I might, when I put it on Letterboxd, it'll probably be like an 8 or something.
A 12.
It'll probably actually be like a 4.
What?
It was likely to be a 7.
Okay.
Scathing review, though.
I fucking hate Tim Allen.
I feel like Joe is going to give this movie a steaming hot 5. It's very mid. 5 is the mid of the...
No. 4.
Intended. So
the SCU, you're giving a 4.
Wait, so it's just like hanging out then, like, just above Bod and like the jungle lanes? Then?
It's that kitten poster that's just like keep hanging in there.
Just hanging in there. Yeah, no, 4.
I should eat that for Christmas.
Like, it's not like... I just don't care. And
you should pay for a Kirby tattoo.
Bad, so I'm like, yeah, if it's my criteria for 4. Thomas?
No, you should pay for one of mine.
You're giving it a 3.
Mm-mm.
He said
5.
It was mid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
London. You're going to give this one, I don't know, like a 4?
A 4 indeed. Yes, I do.
Why are you guys hating on this?
I never said I hated it.
Dude, I gave it a 5.
That tells me that any score
Thomas literally has like the second highest score out of all of us.
Garbage.
Anyway, let's talk about The Santa Claus 2 from 2002.
Somehow better.
What's the subtitle for this one?
I don't think this one has this. I think the third one's the only one with
Tim
the subtitle.
Allen. Oh. Twice the Tim Allen.
2 times the Allen.
But this one is about the Mrs. Claus,
mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh fuck, Curtis, the second in command elf, totally forgot to tell you that if you don't get married within 8 years of you being Santa Claus, for whatever reason, 8,
that's very arbitrary timing.
Then you just stop being Santa, and I guess no one's Santa?
What if he just puts the suit back?
I assume that the suit will go flying off him and find like a
Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's like a Green Lantern rig. You'll just find out someone else who's worthy. Who's probably just going to be the kid's stepdad because of his sweat.
No, it'll just be the kid.
I thought so. That's what I think when we were watching the first movie. Was like, what if his son put on a coat?
He says he wants to get into the family business, which means he wants to kill his father.
So Santa Claus 4. Let's fucking go.
That's the one.
Let's have
the one Tim Allen movie.
Let's have it open up. Tim Allen's not in it. It's his funeral.
Funeral at the North Pole. You have the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, Father Time.
Father Time's dead. That guy's dead.
Oh
yeah, sadly.
New Father Time.
New Father Time.
Somebody had killed him and worn his beard.
Just recast it to me. I'm almost there. My beard's growing. I'm bald. I'm almost Father Time.
And you're like, call me Kid Time. Whoa! You're like skateboarding.
How do you do, fellow
They're
legendary
like,
people?
Man, ever since Father Time revamped to Child Time, we just can't take this.
Woo! Radical!
While you guys are saying this, I'm just picturing Echo from League of Legends on a skateboard.
I think Joe should be in the live-action reboot of Rocket Power.
Wait, is that happening?
I thought you were going to say the Rocketeer there for a second.
Yeah, Joe should be in the Rocketeer.
Can we talk about how disappointed I am? Disney Plus announced they were like, this is a while ago.
Yeah, they're doing a Rocketeer something, right?
We were going to do a Rocketeer animated series, and I was like, yeah, and then it turned out to be like for like Disney Junior babies, and I'm like, no!
That's the only people who like the Rocketeer. God.
No, the Rocketeer's dead.
I don't feel like
The Rocket
know about the Rocketeer.
Yeah, that's true.
The Rocketeer is good.
Didn't we watch the Rocketeer?
Yeah, we watched it for one of the movie days.
But then you guys
Back
watched
in the
the
day.
Paw Patrol movie.
No, not yet.
No, I don't want to support
I
fashion.
heard the other day that the Paw Patrol dog, who's a police dog, is afraid of the city. Like, they don't like cars in, like, urban environments. And I'm like, how do they do their job? Oh no!
Oh no!
Who's patrolling the streets?
Oh no.
We should watch that for the podcast.
Yeah, so he rapidly turns back into Scott Calvin. Most of the movie, he's not even Santa Claus. And he just has to, like, try to fuck the principal of his son's school. And his son's now, like, 16 years old. It's horrifying.
By the way, the principal is Juliet from Lost.
Yes, that's true.
That's good.
And yeah, and meanwhile, they had this great idea. What if we make a toy copy of Santa Claus to run the show while he's gone, instead of just being like, hey elves, I gotta take a sabbatical real quick. I'll be back before Christmas. Instead of just doing that and having Bernard run the show.
But then Curtis is like, no, this will work. And then Tim Allen's like, all right, Curtis.
All right, Curtis. I know we literally opened up with this movie with you fucking up like twice in a row.
Curtis is the main antagonist of these movies. He's the reason for the conflict in this one and in 3.
Yeah. He's really...
It's not... He's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Bernard's just trying to do better.
Bernard's
like a stickler for the rules, but he understands, you gotta go with the flow as well.
Pierre, it's like if you made a machine that created Hitler.
No, it's like the AI that'll inevitably destroy the human race. It'll just be...
Curtis would make Skynet.
Skynet's dope, though.
It
has like a big techno...
So yeah, Toy Santa, he pretty much is like, we need to give everyone coal! And he puts Bernard under house arrest. And then Tim Allen tries to tell the principal, Carol, that, hey, I'm Santa Claus. And she's like, you're a fucking weirdo. Get out of my house. And he's like, I gotta go save Christmas regardless. So he, like, steals his, niece-in-law's tooth and is like, Roy, you have to take me to the North Pole.
The Molinator.
The Molinator, the Tooth Fairy. So they go back to the North Pole and immediately get captured, but then his son saves the day, just like he saves the day in the third one. His son always saves the day. He comes in. Comes in clutch every time.
Did he save the day in the first one?
Well, he's the reason that Santa believed in himself.
Tim Allen would not have become Santa Claus if his son wasn't so into it.
Yeah,
it's like, true.
Dad,
he wouldn't become Santa Claus if his son just went back to sleep.
You're right.
Yeah, we would have had that fucking buffoon on the roof.
And the police would have been...
Actually, he probably would have just gone to the next house and died there.
Probably.
And then would have been the other guy from Home Improvement, because I co-star.
Ah, God.
But instead, that guy went on to host Family Feud.
I always thought he grew up to become Billy Mays, but it turns out they were two different people.
I knew that from an early age.
It's just a guy with a beard. Is that Billy Mays?
Hi, Billy Mays here.
Wow.
You weren't saying aggressive enough.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
Love the peak in audio.
Sorry, not sorry.
We're unhinged on our fucking Santa Claus episode.
This was always going to be an unhinged episode, and you kind of knew it.
Yeah, Tim Allen episodes get fucking wild.
The Hogs.
Oh yeah, he was in that.
Yeah.
He was like the main guy.
Do an actor deep dive.
He was a motorcycle. Tim Allen should play the motorcycle in Keenan.
Alright, next episode of Screen Weens, all of Last Man Standing.
Next episode, all of Home Improvement.
Oh, God.
All 7 seasons.
That would probably be better than Last Man Standing. I haven't watched like a full episode of that show, but the little tidbits I get, I'm like, ooh, this is yikes.
In general, though, I like the Santa Claus 2 more than the first one.
I think Toy Santa was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that, like, just letting Tim Allen be unhinged as Toy Santa is kind of fun to watch. I like the part where he drinks the hot cocoa and he's, like, smiling at Curtis, like, and he's like, and he just drinks all the hot cocoa and he just starts, like, screaming. He's like, I like hot cocoa! Like that.
I think it's used like human teeth.
Yes, he has weird human teeth still. Yeah.
It's fun.
I like the reindeer in this. Like Comet's weird fucking is like kind of fun.
Just Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, he like shows up. His niece Lucy is like, "Are you Santa?" And he's like, "No." And she's like, "But you have a reindeer." And he's like, "Yeah, but reindeer is too stupid to have as pets." And Comet's just like staring at him.
Comet's like,
he's like, "Excuse me."
I like to think that because of that, Comet intentionally got fat to sabotage.
Probably. It's a smart reindeer.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you like this any more or less than the original?
I like it less than the original.
Whoa.
I'm not a big fan of the plot. I think the plastic Tim Allen stuff is the highlight of the movie, but it takes up such a small amount of the movie that I'm like, I don't really find it justifiable for me to like the whole sequel.
That's fair. I think this movie's really, really narratively, like, incoherent.
Okay,
like, the A and the B plot are just so fucking, like, out of just going in completely different, like, directions, and then they have to just fucking, like, rush to meet each other.
We have this love at first sight story, and then we have this up-and-coming North Pole fascist that wants to punish all the children of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking... I think they go together perfectly.
I mean...
What's life if not love at first sight and a little bit of fascism?
Like, it's just a commentary on, like, the state of the world, where it's like, on one side of the planet, you could have, like, a couple falling in love. On the other side, you can have, like, a dictator rising to power in, like, some small nation.
Yeah, the North Pole.
Yeah. The smallest of nations.
It's happening
so
right
on the top of the planet, fascism. On the bottom half,
Pierre,
new love.
Just think, no one's sitting in on the UN Council for North Pole. No one knows that they're planning.
Which means we can go there.
Which means they need to be stopped.
Who owns the North Pole?
I believe it's not claimed.
I want to say it's like shared territory, but then countries
sure
like Russia are just like, no, but we own it though. And it's like, no, you don't.
I don't think like anyone like owns like the land. It's more like there are like research bases like set
land.
up. I mean, there are research bases.
Not really in the North Pole, like in the
I guess
like
mainly
Antarctica in the south. There's like
what do you mean there's
stuff.
no land?
North Pole just kind of like
there's a ton of like mountains. I saw in the Santa Claus 2.
It's just more of a bunch of icebergs just kind of floating out. Like they're big icebergs, but it's like
I saw the Santa Claus 2.
That was also like from like the 2000s. Like
global warming.
Yeah.
Santa Claus 4 should be about global warming. That's all I'm saying. Or the
big charged counterattack where like the North Pole strikes out the rest of the world for like climate change, and it's like this is Tim Allen's counterattack.
It's Santa having to move to the moon because the North Pole is melted.
Scott Calvin's counterattack. Drops an asteroid.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of like funny moments, but I definitely think there is like an identity crisis with the movie. Like it doesn't know what it wants to tell, and what it wants to be. It's doing a bunch of like weirdo shit, like the fucking like Secret Santa teacher conference.
I think that is the closest that the trilogy gets to having like a genuinely like tender moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. But like it's so weird because it's just like then you have Toy Santa's like, all the children get coal, all the elves bow before me. It just feels
get me more hot cocoa.
Well, also you have to take into account that like Plastic Santa was going off of, like the official rule book and laws of the North Pole, which just paints a picture that the North Pole used to be a lot more strict in the past, and that over time it became more liberal.
They should do prequels that follow a different Santa Claus, pre-Tim Allen. That way we can see.
It's kind of like Avatar.
Shift.
We see the gradual, like...
We need to have the next Santa Claus where they figure out how to contact the spirits of the past Santas.
Oh my god.
You know what was a good Santa Claus movie that I was just thinking about just now?
The one where he got sued.
You're going to say the one.
Is
That one's not good.
that Netflix one that had Norm Macdonald and had like the wind that would blow and like lead him
Klaus?
to Santa. Klaus, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
that's
watched that, right? For the podcast? Yeah.
Mhm.
That one's, no, I really like that movie.
There's some Klaus.
That's and they had the goldfish from American Dad.
Yes, it's about him.
Okay, because that's like the best character.
No,
You would like that one. It's about how Santa was just a guy who founded the postal service in like a small town
Yeah.
with a big guy who wanted to
With
fuck
a
him.
shovel.
No,
J.K. Simmons.
They never kiss.
Yeah, sadly. They came real close.
They
The best Santa Claus movie is Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer, which I guess is like a TV special more than a movie.
Someone hasn't
Seen
all
Eight
of the
Crazy
reindeer
Nights.
I've seen all of the reindeer. It's not Grandma Got Run Over by a
I've
Reindeer.
never seen either of these things. I've seen 8 Crazy Nights.
then. Crazy Nights.
That one's not good.
That's a technical foul.
The only thing you know,
Really good impression.
the only thing you need to know about Grandma Got Run Over by the Reindeer is the fucking dance scene, the random middle where like the evil characters are like singing about how Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off of Santa. It's the only thing you need to know.
His cousin, I think Mel.
Yeah, cousin Mel or something like that.
Attorney or something.
Yeah. It's the only thing that matters from it. What are we talking about?
Santa Claus 2, final
30.
thoughts.
Oh. Well, let's skip the scoring.
I think it's better than the first one. I think it still doesn't understand what it wants to be, but it's more entertaining. I can say that for certain.
Plus, you got like the part where the guy's skateboarding in the middle of school, and the principal's like, "Look into my eyes."
And she just fucking.
What do you see? He's like,
She just
"It's
like
cold
mind
and
controls.
dark."
She just mind controls that guy
She's
and just like
"That's
shatters
what
his
you'll
dream.
see for the rest of your life if you don't go to fucking math class.
And he's just like, oh god.
And that's when Tim Allen's character's like, I love this
I
woman.
want to fuck this one. Thomas, you'd give this one a 4.
You would give this one. Oh,
Fuck.
Wait.
I thought you were going this way.
Yeah, we're switching around.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, then we'll go this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Joe, you would give this one a 5.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say a 5.
Plus, Bernard's in this one.
That's true. Bernard, actually, probably a 6 because there were moments that I enjoyed, and plus there was more Bernard.
He has his cool hat on.
He does have his cool hat on. Pierre, you're gonna give this
A 10.
a 7.
I'm giving this an 8.
Okay.
It's better than the first
Hinatea
one.
gave this one a 10, just so everyone knows.
That sounds alright.
You know what? I think I need to bump mine up to a 10. I'm pretty sure I was playing my Switch throughout most of this movie, but I've also seen this movie like 30 times.
Yeah, I've seen this movie a lot.
You've seen it a lot because your final score is a 7.
No.
Your final score is an 8.
No.
Your final score is a 4.
No.
Your final score is a 2.
No.
Damn, a
Is
1.
yours a 10?
Okay, it's a 5.
Oh, so it's a mid.
It's mid. Yes, I'll say that much.
Mid.
Let's talk about the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause.
Mid.
I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I remember the basic rundown of it.
I really hate this movie.
I remember the few times I have seen it going, this isn't as funny as the second, and it wasn't as iconic as the first when I was a kid.
Thomas, what do you think of this movie?
I think that Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, is by far the worst entry of all these movies.
Martin Short,
But-
okay.
It's got some pretty funny moments in it. Like, I'm a big fan of the moment when he's like, I'm going to bring over the Sandman to knock out my in-laws and instill a specific dream into their head. But then they, like, start arguing. And he just gets tired, so he knocks them out. And Tim Allen's like, well, okay, well, let's move the bodies into the car then. But the Sandman just goes over their couch. It's like, softens the, like, seat and just, like, goes straight to fucking sleep. And he's just like, oh, great.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, he's like, now I have to pack his underwear.
Yeah, so main rundown of this movie is Everything's going wrong at the North Pole. Mrs. Claus is pregnant with the child.
The child from the Mandalorian.
And she's really depressed because Santa has no time for her. So Mr. Santa Claus is like, I got an idea. I'll bring your family up here. And Curtis is like, sir, the SOS, the secret of Santa. And he's like, don't worry about it. I'm just going to pretend that we're in Canada because that's where they think we are. So we're just going to pretend that Canadians are just very short and look like children. And we're just going to make everything look like Canada here. Meanwhile, Jack Frost is around, and he wants his own holiday.
I forgot how stupid the plot of this movie
and he's constantly just sabotaging all these plans to make Scott Calvin, Santa Claus, look bad and also feel bad. And he does this enough that he accidentally gets Santa to accidentally invoke the escape clause, which is this thing where if he holds his magic snow globe that had never been in either of the previous entries and go, I wish it had never been a Santa at all, it'll teleport him back to that night that it all happened and he won't have to be Santa anymore. So he does that with Jack Frost, and Jack Frost becomes Santa Claus, and then he monopolizes and just makes like the North Pole like a consumerist paradise, and everyone's like slave labor, and they're like, there's a petting zoo, and Curtis is trying to sell like these pens, and then Santa Claus takes one of the pens and he gets Jack Frost to record himself saying, oh, I wish I'd never been Santa at all, and then he gets Lucy, who doesn't even know who he is, to go and get this snow globe back, and then he kicks Jack Frost, and he's like, fuck you, bozo. Bing bong. And then he gets him to this whole sequence where Jack Frost and Santa Claus only really lasts like 20 minutes. And then he teleports back and he's like, you know what? I'm good now. But Jack Frost in the real timeline had frozen Lucy's parents. Neil's frozen. Oh no. But then Lucy's like, I have magical hugs, and hugs Jack Frost, and he defrosts, and then he just looks like a weirdo. And then the movie ends.
All right. Couple things. I think this movie would have automatically gotten a 10 had Lucy hugged Jack Frost and he just fucking died.
He just starts melting.
He starts screaming really loud.
Like Indiana Jones just face. But also, I was genuinely surprised because it had been a few years since I had watched this one. And I was surprised at how long it takes. It's like the last half hour when
it's
they
just
invoke
like
the escape clause.
Everyone's being a dick to each other.
Yeah.
For like an hour. It's like really annoying to watch.
That's good though.
That's what makes an engaging movie. You have heroes and villains, even though they're all basically the same.
And like everything's going wrong, and Tim Allen doesn't connect the dots at all. That it's like, oh, it's probably Jack Frost because this guy's an asshole, and everybody seems to know it. But
me.
But the day where things are coincidentally all going wrong, he's around and being real nice.
And Curtis is just like the worst head elf ever. He like can't solve any problems on his own. He's not watching Jack Frost. He's the one that tells him about the escape clause.
Yeah, it's just like
Bernard would never. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Bernard would be like, the second Martin Short was like,
he'd pull out a gun and shoot him in the head.
It's like, you don't know about the escape clause. Bernard would be like, all right, sure, whatever. And just go about his Christmas business. Because he's a busy man who knew how to stay focused, whereas Curtis is just...
Or even if you did, you would be like, okay, why do you care? Like,
yeah. It's not your business, Frost. Fucking... Why wasn't he in this one? Does anybody know?
I have no idea. Well, I think it was probably he was just filming Numbers. Because he was in Numbers. He was the main character of that for like 7 seasons. And that was probably making him just a shitload of money. And he didn't have to dress as a fucking elf and act like he was a child.
He didn't have to work with Tim Allen.
He probably read the script and was like, you guys want me to tell Jack Frost Santa's biggest secret? I would no never. Such thing.
My character would do that.
They could have still had Curtis do it. He was present in the second one.
Yeah.
But,
can't believe Curtis fucked up Christmas.
Again.
Can't trust Curtis.
Yeah, but, yeah, so Yeah, this movie wasn't good.
Yeah, and it's just like, maybe if they spent a little more time, like, talking about the repercussions of it, but that sequence in which it's like an alternate timeline is, like, very short.
Yeah,
and
you get, like, he goes and visits his ex-wife, who is very cool with him in normal timeline because he's Santa Claus and nice, but in this timeline, she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
And his kid just fucking hates him, and also fucking hates his mom. Mm-hmm. And her and Neil are divorced. Like, there's some actually interesting, like, elements to explore there, but they don't do that. It's just, like, hinted at. I'm like, annoying.
Yeah. Why would they explore that in a movie called The Santa Claus 3?
Because there's a lot of Christmas movies that are, like, retrospective like that. Like A Christmas Carol. What's that one with the guy who tries to fucking... He's like, I'm going to kill myself.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life. Stuff like that.
You know what Joe said to me the other day?
Huh.
That movie's mid.
I said I remember it being mid. I had mid feelings about it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I also haven't seen it in like 6 plus years. I don't know if you remember the episode.
I wasn't super praising of that.
Yeah, but that's because you're an idiot. No.
I don't have relevant opinions about it today.
Is it because it's in black and white, Joe?
No, I don't care that it's in black
hate
and white.
Old people?
No, I love the original Invisible Man. You can't say hey black and white. You can't say hey black and white movies. No, I haven't seen in like 6 plus years. I had no relevant opinions on it. It's very much in the camp of like I have no opinions on the prequels because I haven't seen them in so long.
Well, no, your opinion should be they're excellent.
Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, the Star Wars prequels. Like it's very much in that camp of like I haven't seen them in so long. My tastes and thoughts about movies have evolved so drastically since when I last watched them. I have no real opinion on it.
I have this great idea. 2022, we should just be a superhero podcast. I've
been considering kickstarting a second DC.
I get so annoyed though, Jesus.
What are you talking about?
Not necessarily from watching it, but just only talking about superhero shit, and then also working at a comic shop. I'm like, yeah, that's all I talk about.
That's my entire personality is superheroes.
Yeah. No, I can see that would get annoying.
No. You know what? Okay, 2022, year of the Power Rangers.
The year of the Seinfeld.
You only cover Power Rangers.
Every episode is a Seinfeld episode. We cover one episode.
I feel like I have water in my ear. That's the reason why I'm leaning like this.
I know you're trying to get away from the skate. You're escaping.
No, I feel like there's water.
You're trying to invoke the escape clause.
Yeah, I think this movie's really bad.
Yeah.
It has a few moments here and there. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but...
Did this movie kill Martin Short's career for like 10 years? Because I feel like I didn't see him in anything after this.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't...
Don't they like turn on blue when they're hugged?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, he like has like brown hair and he's wearing like a white suit. He's got his hair.
He looks like he's trying to play like a 10-year-old in a school play. You know how in like school plays when in like elementary school they're like, okay, little kid, you're going to play like an 80-year-old. It's kind of the opposite.
Have you seen that legit movie with Martin Short in it where he legit plays a 10-year-old as a grown man?
No, I haven't. I've heard it's really bad.
Yeah. I haven't watched it either, but I've heard of it. But yeah, Santa Claus 3. I really don't have much more to say about this one.
I don't.
It feels like it's definitely clear that like 2 and 3 were like made within like the same realm of time as each other because like I'm pretty close
4 years
because I mean there's like
I guess that's closer.
There's like an 8-year gap. Yeah, between like the first 2 and then these 2 are practically made back to back almost, just like a year in between. So it feels, I don't know, to me it feels tonally pretty close to the second one, but just down a notch. It's like subspecies 3 and 4. It's like, yeah, they were kind of close, but there's a clear dip in quality.
I miss Subspecies.
When's 5?
I don't know.
We totally forgot.
You miss Charles Band ever? You miss Full Moon?
Why would I miss?
We need to watch more Full Moon movies.
I miss when you guys talked about Full Moon so much.
We still do.
Yeah, we still.
It's not ever brought up as often as it once was.
Because no one ever wants to watch any Full Moon movies.
I'm always down for Full Moon movies.
Oh, be careful what you wish for,
I don't
Joe.
like watching disgusting movies.
Pierre,
that's
Full
not
Moon.
true.
The Full Moon movies are.
I need to say that. Can you close that door? Thomas, I think you'd give this one a 2.
Yeah.
Cool.
London, you're going to give this also a 2.
I am.
You're welcome.
And neither of these two
I
watched.
totally point.
I watched this when I was like 14. Which
I kind of remember the framework of it, but
Joe would give this a 3.
I probably would fall into the realm of a 2 if I watched it. Pierre, you're gonna give this a 10 because we're all shitting on it so bad.
And Jack Frost is in it. That's your favorite legendary figure.
Off of memory, I'd probably just give like a 7 because I do remember being annoyed that the whole alternate reality, alternate timeline is like 15 minutes of like a 2-hour movie or something like that.
Was this movie 2 hours?
It was like an hour and 40. They all are.
It probably feels like 2 hours when you're watching it.
It does. I was laying in bed watching this one. I'm like, I can't get up.
Just laying in bed, crying, looking at your picture of Tim Allen. Wearing your Wolverine outfit.
What?
I like that meme of Wolverine just laying in bed holding
the picture, just like stroking it.
That's
It's like Guy Fieri.
I'm not necessarily like super into like the X-Men animated series from the 90s, the one that they're rebooting.
But you know about that.
Yeah, well, did you see that the announcement for the new season of that was that picture?
It was.
Yeah, it was that picture that was like coming soon.
If I was,
So they know.
Yeah.
I really wish Marvel would just do like a fresh reboot for an animated universe.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the series that they've currently got, but I also like, I don't know. They already did like an Infinity War storyline with the old MC animated universe.
Then you should voice Spider-Man.
Nah.
You should voice Black Cat.
I'd want to voice like a random obscure character.
Big Wheel. Sleepwalker!
Dude,
No, I gotta be Sleepwalker. You can be Rick, and I'll be Sleepwalker.
There we go.
I like how Sleepwalker looks like Green Goblin.
Yeah, he looks
I
like
don't think that's Green Goblin.
he looks like the Green Goblin if he had a child with a Martian Manhunter.
Anyway, we got one more episode before Christmas, and I was really debating on whether we should cover... No, we're going to cover 2 movies that are around Christmas, but not necessarily Christmas movies in some people's book. We're gonna watch Gremlins,
I had a few.
and we're gonna watch Die Hard.
Oh, I see.
Gremlins 2 isn't based on Christmas.
Okay. Die Hard and Gremlins.
Yeah,
Did you watch Die Hard 4?
it's that on Christmas.
No.
Oh no, there's like a scene where buildings collapse in
It's
Die
the one-
Hard and their son are like sliding through the collapsing building.
Did you just call him Die Hard?
I don't remember his
John
name.
McClane.
His name is Die Hard.
My name is Die Hard.
It's also not his son. Justin Long plays his friend in that one. 5th one has his.
Okay.
How many Die Hard movies are there?
I didn't know
There-
there was a fifth.
I
Which
believe-
one's Die Hard with a Vengeance? Is that 4?
Okay. It's
Die Hard, Die Hard 2. I know that
Die
one.
Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free or Die
Yo,
Hard,
that's like one of
and
my
A Good
favorite.
Day to Die Hard, and I don't think they made any.
Is the 4 and 5th the bad ones?
I didn't mind 4 back in the day. Personally, I think the first one's good, from what I remember. The second one is like, basically kind of just a carbon copy in a different setting. 3 is pretty good. From what I remember. And I enjoyed 4 when I saw it. I don't know if I would now, but I don't even know if I'd enjoy any of them now. But I guess we're going to find out if I enjoy
I've seen Die Hard 1 once, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
I've never seen.
I'm
Die
expecting
Hard.
to like it, because the first one's got a lot of iconic stuff in it. So
Yeah.
you never know.
All right, cool. Episode 122 in the books.
Be sure to tell your grandma. Wish her a happy holiday.
Get hype for the Sonic movie. New poster came
Comes
out.
out soon.
It's going to be
Oh.
amazing.
Forgot to mention this earlier. They released that across the Spider-Verse sneak peek.
Yeah. Looks dope.
Good.
Excited.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Try not to die.